shut up about due process. We gave the man a new pair of clothes and let him sip on a margarita in the hotel lobby of a Hilton DoubleTree. Isn't that enough? Is what the president of El Salvador is trying to gaslight us into believing. My God. Who I guess has a whole lot of time on his hands because he has a Twitter account and he's been posting and reposting all of these ridiculous things trying to suggest that our fears about the fact that the Trump administration just deported this man who had legal residency, legal status here, gave him no constitutionally afforded due process, and then have done everything they possibly can to defy federal courts and refuse to give any information about his well-being. I don't know. Why would we be concerned about that, sir? And because the Trump administration was essentially just in contempt of court, refusing to provide any information to the judges, a senator from Maryland had to go after his constituent and make sure he was okay. The man is still in the custody of El Salvador. So I don't know how open and honest this exchange could be, right? That's the first thing. I don't care if he's getting mimosa brunches and spa pedicures. The man was deported illegally. Bring him back. And then you have Republicans fear-mongering, defamation of this man's character because they have nothing else, insisting that he's a member of the MS-13 gang, regardless of the facts, because there are no facts. They're also alleging that there was some sort of domestic violence because, now Republicans care about women. Here's the thing. We don't care. We don't care if he's a bad man. I'm going to say this again because I know it's hard for people with a rickety moral compass to understand this. We don't care if Kilmer Abrego Garcia is an asshole. Our Constitution provides due process to everyone, even the assholes. I don't care if it turns out that Abrego Garcia was an inaugural member of MS-13. I don't care if it turns out that he is the founder of MS-13. I don't care. I don't care about any of that because our Constitution affords everyone basic rights, and those rights include due process. Due process even for the assholes. That's how we got stuck with this guy. Again. So now get prepared for a deluge of tweets and news articles and interviews insisting that a Maryland senator is going to sit down with this gang member, this violent criminal, because they don't care about Americans. Babe, he's sitting down with this man because he does care about Americans. Because if due process only applies when it's convenient, you would have sided with the Nazis. Do you understand? Due process has to hold even when it's inconvenient. And if you have such a problem with him meeting with a constituency in the hotel of what I assume is some sort of a DoubleTree Hilton, I'd like to know what you're going to do about your boy that was taking selfies in front of the prisoners. That's a selfie in front of prisoners. That's posed. Like that man had someone take that shot. He's like, ready? 1, 2, 3. I got it. Or he set it up on a tripod. Either way, it's deplorable. This is the difference between Democrats and Republicans is like the people on the left, we're going to go try to save the people. The people on the right, you're going to use them for social media props. As if you needed another difference between the left and the right. The Democrats are going to show up to a foreign country to save your ass. Republicans are going to show up to a foreign country to take pictures of you for their social media. God, West Virginia, this is so, it's embarrassing for our whole country, but especially West Virginia, because that's your dude. Representative Riley Moore. Oh, God. It's the fact that the El Salvador president tweeted this. Like, it's an own. Like, it's such an own to the libs that this guy showed up, like, maybe relatively unharmed. We're still not 100% sure of that. There's no own in this situation. The own would have been if the guy got on a plane himself and flew there. Oh, me? Accidentally deported? No, like, I got on a plane for a vacation. I'm cool. That would have been an own. No, you haven't returned him for due process, so you haven't done anything other than giving him a cocktail hour. What do you mean? Just because you gave the guy some base shelf tequila and took some pictures doesn't mean that he's being treated properly in a prison. Actually, I would argue the fact that you brought him to a mid-level chain Hilton in the middle of the day in front of the press, instead of taking him to the prison, shows a significant, stunning lack of transparency and makes me wonder, what are you doing over there in your prison? It actually makes me feel like the situation situation's way worse than I maybe thought it was. How about them apples? A senator stood up for his constituent who was denied due process, regardless of who that person is, regardless of whether they've committed crimes, which in this case, we don't think he has. There's no evidence to that effect. But you know what? We'd find out if he had due process. Part of the reason that you patriots love this country so much is that we have a constitution that affords everyone these basic human rights. And they don't just disappear because you don't like someone. And the fact that he would do this for a constituent is important because it means that he would do it for you. And if you think that there's no risk involved with a senator traveling to a foreign country to check on a constituent, let me tell you the story of Representative Leo Ryan. Spoiler alert, he died. And so did hundreds of others. And I will tell you that story next in part 2.